time-wise, we wanted to keep it short. Now, as it is progressing to closer of the date of release, तब we are trying to do longer. This is the longest one.
238 minutes. 2.30.
So honest feedback क्या है? Honest बता मेरे को.
अच्छा है. ट्रेलर अच्छा लगा मुझे तो. सबको अच्छा लगा. फर्स्ट ट्रेलर मुझे कुछ नहीं क्या.
कुछ नहीं.
No.
वो जो बच्चों वाला था.
हाँ बच्चों वाला था.
आवाज़ थी इसमें.
कोई नयापन नहीं लगा वैसे. इसमें कैसे सनी पाजी है सब जगह तो वो थोड़ा लोगों का अटेंशन ग्रास्प करेंगे.
Actually, the thing is, I appreciate that also about Sunny sir is that he was very keen that this should not become his film only. He said, यार जो अजय मेहरा को जिनको जो उसके फैंस हैं वो तो आएंगे. He says, but I don't want this to become कि अच्छा पहले भी था अभी उसको फिर से basically मतलब माइलेज निकाल रहा है जो पहले हिट हो गई. He says, I want these 4 kids for people to identify with them, get interested in their stories. He says तभी बात बनेगी. That's what his thing was.
आप ये बोल सकते हैं if you want to.
आप बोल रहे हैं. And that's the thing about it. जैसे आप ये बोल रहे हो मेरा एक और फिल्म मेकर फ्रेंड है तो मैंने भी सनी साहब को ये एडवाइस किया. We had cut 2 trailers to start with. So one was the format trailer which had bad enter Sunny and he fucks everybody and gets the right way out, correct? And the other was this one which was little slow paced. It had kids and all that, and all of us said that so you go with that. It's like a short one.
First one.
तो काफी बोलने के बाद also he said नहीं यार I'm very keen and that these kids and their role in the film must be accentuated because I'm pretty sure that the guys who are that Ajay Mera fans are a completely different generation. Just anybody who's 18 right now will not know about the film. So I said no, I think you're mistaken because the fan base is pretty big. In terms of देख ही लेते हैं ना हमें कभी केबल पे देख लिया so that चलो we can start.
रोल एक बार मेरे को चेक कर दे सर प्लीज कुछ बोलिए प्लीज.
हेलो चेक चेकिंग लेवल्स ऑल गुड गुड चल.
हाँ ठीक है.
हाँ ठीक.
थोड़ा सा ऊपर ले.
थक जाएगा ऐसे तो.
हाँ हो जाएगा. नो ये
पक्का. चल.
फोन तो नहीं आ रहा ना पीछे.
हटा. मैंने तो क्या हटा रहे हैं.
हाँ
हटा ठीक है. तो विपिन सबसे पहले तो आप अपना इंट्रोडक्शन दीजिए प्लीज. टेल अस समथिंग अबाउट योरसेल्फ.
बूम थोड़ा नीचे करना क्या.
बस
करेक्ट. हाँ ठीक है. So basically I started music by playing live. That's how it started back in college and got interested in doing covers of rock and roll bands. Would you prefer English or Hindi? Let me start again. Anything is fine. ठीक है. Okay, so I'll start again. ठीक है.
So अपना नाम बोलिए and later.
हाँ okay. Yeah, so hi, I'm Vipin Mishra and I've composed the background score for Ghayal once again. And my music journey started way back in college. I was in Delhi University and I think as we entered college, formed an amateur band and we used to go to a lot of competitions, a lot of fun. And then by the time I got to second year, I auditioned for what at that time was a pretty big and upcoming rock and roll band called Parikrama. So that worked out nicely and then for the next 6-7 years, that's what I did. I toured with them as a guitar player. And on the side, I got a little sort of a part-time exposure with what at that time used to be multimedia company because this I'm talking mid-90s, so the internet had not made inroads completely. So that gave me a little bit of balance of technology, while on the live front it was just pure analog playing. Then after 6 or 7 years, it was I personally was getting a little bored. So in the transition, I played with what was Mohit's older band Silk Route. I played with them for about a year or so, and then I set up a small project studio and I started doing commercial work because I was always very keen to have a compositional approach. So as a musician, you are one part of a 6-piece, 5-piece, 4-piece band. It's very interesting, but you are a part of it. As a composer, you sort of take an overview, so the creative reins are in your hands. So I started doing commercial work for a couple of years. This was in Delhi. Then I moved to Bombay about 11 years back.
Okay.
And I continued with advertising in Bombay. उस समय जब मैं आया तो I thought the best environment for me and the place where I felt the most comfortable was advertising. So for many years I did advertising, and in the interim I started doing a little bit of short films. Then I did a few songs for a few Hindi feature films. Then came larger films for background scores such as these. So yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell. That's been the journey.
So you have decided now to get into Bollywood as much as projects you would like to do. ऐसे कोई plans?
So see, what happens is it's not completely in my hand or our hands. It's always a combination of what you want to do musically and creatively, and at the same time meeting the right people who want exactly that same thing. You know, because as commercial artists, I think that's what we all are. Be it the playback singers, be it our lyricists, be it the composers, even film writers and directors. I think we are all commercial artists. Lekin even for us, I think when it comes to feature films, we want to choose work which reflects our personality and which gives us the scope, to showcase both our talent, our personality, as well as creative satisfaction. So in the shorter format, when it comes to television commercials, anything and everything goes. Even for me, anything and everything goes. Right from soundtrack which would require bhangra to a soundtrack which would require eloquent jazz to a soundtrack which would require blues to something which would require anything. But when it comes to features, because also your name is attached to the project, yeah, so it becomes important for you to work with people who both appreciate and are looking for something that you have to offer. So it's that combination which will work. तो मतलब मैं बोल दूँ कि नहीं सर मैं तो I'm ready, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. I've been ready for many years, but the projects that come which are both interesting and in which the other person and you gel are few and far between, and I'm happy that that's the way it is.
So if I'm not wrong, you have also won a national award for one of your works. Tell us
Yes.
something about it. What exactly, for which movie or any specific?
Yeah, so basically what happens is the national awards in our country are broken into two large basic categories. One is feature film and one is non-feature film. Feature films from all over the country are included. They are full-length films. In the non-feature film category, they are all others, which means short films, documentaries, any other format which goes. So I won the national award for a short film called Narmeen. It was a FTII film. There's a girl called Deepthi who directed it, and it was a very interesting project because it was completely unexpected. हमारे जो national awards है वो 2 साल पीछे चलते हैं, at least जब मैं था. So I had done that film about 2.5 years back.
Music इसमें compose.
Music,
Okay.
So this was a short film. It was about a 20-minute film. It was set in the times of the partition.
Okay.
And the interesting part about this project was that when the guy who did the mix and the sound for it, Manik, he called me and made me speak to Deepthi. And us समय पे I was in a strange frame of mind, and in the sense that it was I had started feeling that people take creative people for a ride. तो उन्हें फ़ोन किया तो मैंने कहा नहीं I don't have the time, I don't think I'll be able to do it करके छोड़ दिया. And then just so happened that I got like 1 week of free time. And so one late night I was sitting and I said चलो DVD तो भेजी हुई है. So Manik said I'm going to send you the DVD sir. अगर आपको देखनी है देख लेना. We're not counting on it, but school we are very keen through work with you and all that. I said thanks a lot guys, but I don't think it'll happen. So रात को बैठ के I put in the DVD and I saw that 20-minute film, and it was really nice. And a lot of times what happens is as a musician, when you see something, you get the soundtrack for it in your head. So that night itself I wrote an email to both of them saying that listen, I really like your film, but and there was obviously there was no financial exchange. There was a measly sum which I had declined at that time. I said doesn't make sense, but I said I really like your film, but I have a sound in mind, and yours is a period film, but I don't want to do it that way at all. So I will do the soundtrack based on what I think will work, and there will be no reviews.
Okay.
I will not take feedback, not for any other reason, that because I feel I can add a certain personality to the film, and if you're okay with it, it's cool. If you're not okay with it, junk it. You can go with whatever. And we never met. So the director and I, we never met. We had one conversation. I was walking on the Warsaw beach. I called her. I said, "Mere dimag mein, this is what I have in mind," and she said it's quite amazing because I was thinking on exactly the same line. So I think we are on the same page. And then I did that soundtrack sitting in my project room in Warsaw, and I did the whole film. I bounced the tracks and I sent it to them, and that was it. And we did not meet even when the national award was announced, it was just telephonic conversation. We actually met much later, so it was very interesting, and that's what I got the national award for,
Super.
for best music direction non-feature segment.
Okay, coming to the roots of Ghayal once again. Tell us something. How did you get collaborated with Sunny Paji, and how did this all started?
Right. So basically, I am working on another film, which has been directed by a good friend of mine,
Okay.
Vivek Chauhan. Okay. So now I was working with him. So we were hanging around here at the office because I'm doing songs for him, and he said, "Would you like to meet, Mr. Sunny Deol?" I said, "Yeah, of course, I'd like to meet him." So we met up and we started talking in general. So this was nothing to do with the film. And I think what happened is in that conversation, we spoke about how we've lost over a period of time the importance of background scores. Because at the end of the day, not to put anything else down, but what happens is, see, songs are peppered. They come, they go. Sometimes when used in the background, they can communicate a lot, but mostly it's a peppering of song. But the score sort of stitches the film together. The score is what will give you a basic underlying mood. You know, a shot of a dimly lit room with a still frame. If you leave it there for, let's say, a minute and a half, you can create different moods. The viewer can anticipate, oh, now a lovely young couple is going to come and this is their nice and warm, cozy home. Or they can anticipate there is some amount of drama that's going to happen. Or they can anticipate, man, this door is going to open and I'm going to get scared. Or they can anticipate, I think the window is going to get shattered and a thief is going to come in. So you can do a lot of mood building. So we were talking on those lines. And more importantly, we were also talking in the lines of process. See, what happens is post-production, which basically after the film is shot, it comes at the very fag end. Most of the times, the release of the film is already decided based on lots of activities. 2 minute देना, मैं आता हूँ. So we'll come back. I'll start there. So post-production comes at a very fag end, and by the time you've finished working on the basic edit till the time of the release is a given frame of time, and that time frame is pretty short and tight. So what it's come down to, especially when it comes to background score, anyways from a week to a month, or maximum I would say 5 weeks, is on an average what people take to finish a 2-hour film. So you can only imagine that the quality will suffer. Nothing to do with talent, but anybody who attempts to finish 2-hour film in a week, 10 days, cannot do justice to it. Okay, not in terms of either intellectual contribution, not in terms of innovation, not in terms of quality. So we spoke about that, and finally we spoke about the process itself, in the sense that there is something which is called human, the human element in music, which is now these days we are all, and a lot of people work, mostly people work with samples, and the quality of samples is very good these days, and a good programmer can make a really good sounding score. But if you are writing a score, especially an orchestral score, which is what we did for Ghayal, then you need people to play it out for you. So we started talking on those lines.
Okay.
And when we started talking on those lines, I think we connected on multiple levels. So that conversation happened, and then later on they were looking for somebody to score, and I was working with the same Mr. Saini is the producer for both the films, and he came to meet me at my studio and we spoke, and I clearly made my intentions clear that yeah, if the background score is up, then definitely I'll be interested, and that's how I think it started. I shared some of my earlier work with Sunny sir as well, and yeah, that's the way it happened.
तो सनी सर जब आपने बैकग्राउंड म्यूजिक स्कोर बनाया इसका, यू वर वर्किंग ऑन द प्रोजेक्ट, तो सनी सर का कितना टेक रहा था ये इस तरह से करना चाहिए, बिकॉज द वे वी सॉ द ट्रेलर ऑफ द मूवी और उसमें जिस तरह का बैकग्राउंड आता है, वो कितना आपको और सनी पाजी का जब दोनों ने आपने सुना तो कितना टच हुआ उसका जो म्यूजिक है बैकग्राउंड स्कोर?
No, so I think your question is that whether we were happy with it or whether we got So yeah, I think,
and his take on what exactly he wanted and he got it from you.
Yeah, so I think we are at this stage, both him as the director and me as the composer, I think we are very, very happy. In fact, we were very happy the moment we came back from Prague after getting all the score with us, because it had really translated very well. The process also which I followed was very different. I did not wait for all the edits to get locked before I start writing. The writing has for the score has been carrying on, I would say. I recorded in October, so probably 4 months now. Okay.
Almost.
Yeah, and most of the score was based on Sunny Sir's narration. See, he has a huge advantage of being an actor and a director in this film. So when an actor narrates the film, you get a much clearer picture of the emotional quotient. And him being the director, he stitches the story together as well. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So the narration, which was almost an hour and a half, which he gave personally one-on-one with other writers in the film, was a huge contributing factor. Second, the very loose lineup was ready for me to see. Third, he was keen, and I agreed with him that we should have some of the themes which were there in the original Ghayal, which should be carried forward. And so I saw the film on YouTube, and there were two very clear-cut themes which stood out. So we have those set of themes we have retained. It's changed obviously completely in terms of the arrangements and in terms of the orchestration, in terms of tempo and key, and everything's changed, chordal structure, everything's changed, but we've kept those themes. So those were our basic points of discussion.
ट्रेलर हमने देखा अभी,
Okay.
आपने भी ट्रेलर देखा, आपको कैसा लगा ट्रेलर?
So I think it's see, what happens is you've been working on the film, तो आपको वैसे भी सारे shots पता है, तो you're too close to it. But I like the impact of the trailer, and I hope that you and your other colleagues in the press and people liked it too, because I think the action is outstanding. The action sequences in this film in general, I can tell you, whatever you see in the trailer, they are outstanding. And the trailer has to basically entice you into watching the film and has to communicate some bit of what the film is about. So I hope it did that. We are all very happy with it. Yeah.
So after Ghayal once again, what's next for you?
What's next? Abhi though, there will be a nice break. I will go for some vacation or something, just chill out, hang out with family. And as far as work is concerned, I think I'll get back to a bit of advertising and this other film which my friend is directing. That should go on the floors, I think maybe mid-Feb or end-Feb. So uske there are 5 songs which we worked on a loose basis. So I'll start working on it by the time he starts shooting, and then eventually come down to the background score of that. So that's about it as of now.
Superb. Anything else you want to share with all the audience over there about yourself or the movie, something in your own little words?
No, see, so I think what we can do is we can share this I think will interest people who follow background scores closely, as well as it will interest other musicians also. So the good part about getting to do the score for Ghayal was that we decided that the sound of the score should be a nice, grand, big orchestral, Western orchestral sound is what we decided on. And right from the beginning we said, for one reason or the other, we said we'll stick to the genre, which means that once you've committed yourself to a certain sound, then you stick to that sound. You don't run around changing genres. Okay, you don't run around changing instrumentation. If you want to communicate happiness, sadness, anger, action, drama, you need to stick within the genre. That's the way a lot of composers in the West also approach their films. Once they've decided on a certain set of arrangements and genre, they stick with it. So I like that approach. I agree with that approach. So luckily, Sunny sir also agreed with it. So that was one interesting part that you'll notice in the film, that we haven't moved from suddenly Shehnai baj gayi, उसके बाद तबला बज गया, उसके बाद सीधा hip hop beat आ गई, and after that you move to a piano and acoustic guitar, after which back to some other duffly. We haven't done that. The second great part is the score was written pretty much, like I said, before the film was edited. We worked on multiple pieces and backup pieces of what we thought would communicate the mood of the film throughout its different stages. Okay, then we took all those pieces and we actually got a symphonic orchestra to play those parts. That was a long, laborious process, because you convert everything that you've programmed, you convert it into notation, and then that notation needs to go to the conductor, and he makes his own little changes because he's far more experienced in conducting. People like me who sit in the studio have zero experience with conducting. and then those notations, those sheet musics are distributed among the musicians, and we actually went to the city, beautiful city of Prague, and there's something which is called the Film Harmonic Orchestra. It's basically a group of people who come together from the Prague's symphonic orchestra and the Czech symphonic orchestra. So they all get together, and we had a 42-piece symphonic orchestra which we recorded, and they basically performed the score. So everything that you hear in the score, apart from some of the drum loops and the synths, everything was played live by that 42-piece orchestra, and it was, at least for me, it was a absolutely beautiful experience to hear those people play out the score that we've written. It was mind blowing. So that is something which I wanted to share with them, and we plan on doing a digital release, as well as maybe a vinyl release of just the background score, because it's yeah, we're all very excited about it, and obviously we are even more excited about the film itself. So yeah, I hope it all works out nicely, and I hope people like it, appreciate it, and enjoy it.
On that note, thank you so much for talking to us, and all the best.
Thank you so much, yeah.
For more news and gossips, don't forget to subscribe to Bollywood Helpline.